reading my story, Chasing Rainbows. Chapter 10. The Family Gathering. As the cottage was on the way to the village, Jess called in there first. Gerald came to the cottage door to greet them. "Hello, come in. Sarah's just clearing away the breakfast things," he said. "Oh, I do hope we're not intruding," Jess flushed as he ushered them into the kitchen. "Nonsense, maid, you're always welcome, you know that." Sarah was discarding her apron as she kissed Louisa and invited Jess to sit down. "We were just going into the village to buy a few groceries, and then I thought, as it was such a nice day, Louisa and I would go and feed the ducks," Jess began. "And don't forget the picnic, Mama," Louisa chimed in. Jess chuckled as she smiled fondly at her daughter. "That was your idea, miss." "Well now, a picnic," Gerald grinned, as he placed a tray of tea and biscuits upon the kitchen table. "Help yourself, Louisa." Sarah smiled as the child eyed the gingerbread men in eager anticipation. Jess thankfully accepted a cup of tea, whilst Louisa bit daintily into a gingerbread man. "Well, it just so happens I was thinking of getting a few groceries in myself. Why don't we all ride in together on the track? Albert's off working up at the farm all day, and I'm sure Gerald would like to pay a visit to the duck pond." Sarah winked at her son. "I sure would," he replied in amusement. "I'd best go harness up the mare." Louisa clapped her hands, jumping up and down in gleeful triumph. "I told you they would like to come, Mama," she enthused. There were smiles all around as Sarah cleared away the tea things, and they all made their way outside into the morning sunshine. Louisa perched on Jess's lap and chatted away as if she had known Gerald all her young life. She had certainly taken a shine to him. After they had made their various purchases and deposited them securely inside the trap, they made their way across the road to the duck pond. Sarah and Jess found a bench to sit down upon, and Louisa went off eagerly with Gerald to feed the ducks some scraps of bread. Watching them together as the child skipped along by his side, Jess was impressed. She turned to Sarah. "Oh, it's good to see her so happy. She doesn't always make friends so easily, you know," she said softly. "I know, Jess. It's a pleasure to see them together," smiled Sarah. They watched in amusement as Louisa tucked her small hand into Gerald's, dragging him off towards the swings. "Ho, ho, ho, ho! Looks like the ducks have had their feast for the day, maid," chuckled Sarah. Smiling as she watched her excited little girl clamber onto a swing, Jess nodded in agreement. It was so good to see Louisa enjoying herself. As Gerald pushed the swing higher, Louisa chuckled in delight. Jess sighed as she watched them together. It was obvious the pair had formed a bond, and it was a pity that Gerald would return home soon to America. Louisa had always enjoyed plenty of attention from Sarah and Albert, and yet Gerald appeared to have become her hero. She had noticeably perked up. Jess had to admit he had a wonderful sense of frivolity, and she found herself admiring his patience with Louisa. She could be rather a handful at times, yet Gerald had an affinity with the child which Jess found somewhat curious. It was almost as if they had known one another for years, which was of course ridiculous, she reflected, as she observed them picking the wild flowers that grew by the pond. Louisa came running over to her mother, holding out a small posy. "These are for you, Mama!" Her little face flushed with pleasure as Jess explained how pretty they were. Gerald came striding across and sank down upon the grass at their feet. He wiped his perspiring forehead with his handkerchief. "Oh, you better warm me out, young lady," he grinned. Louisa rolled around on the grass in fits of giggles. "You are a funny little man," she cried, much to everyone's amusement. After they had eaten their picnic, Sarah stifled a yawn. Jess began to pack away the picnic things, and Gerald glanced at his pocket watch. "Good grief, it's almost 3 o'clock," he proclaimed in astonishment. Everyone had enjoyed themselves so much, the afternoon had simply flown by. Sarah struggled to her feet. "Goodness me! Albert will be wanting his meal soon." She straightened her skirt and patted her hair into place, and Louisa pulled a face. "Oh, do we have to go yet?" "Yes, I'm afraid we do, young lady. We have to go home ourselves, and haven't we had a splendid day?" Jess chastised her gently. Louisa kicked the sides of the wooden seat with a rebellious expression upon her face. "But Mama, is not fair," she whined. She looked as if she were about to burst into tears. Gerald chuckled and swung her up onto his shoulders. "Ho, ho, ho, ho! Let's see how fast you can make me run." He trotted off in the direction of the trap. He had been careful to leave the animal in a shady part of the lane, in reach of her nosebag with a water trough close by. Louisa shrieked with laughter as she sat astride Gerald's shoulders, her little arms clasped tightly around his neck. Jess drew in her breath sharply, her face flushed. "That young madam is getting to be too cheeky by far," she declared with annoyance, as she picked up the picnic basket. Sarah tucked her arm in hers as the two women proceeded to follow Gerald. "Oh, stuff and nonsense! She's just tired, that's all, and she were having fun," Sarah soothed. Jess shook her head, smiling in spite of herself. "You're always soft with her. She can twist you around her little finger. She has to learn. She can't always do as she likes," she replied. Sarah squeezed her arm and sighed. "Oh, be patient, Jess. Louisa and a naughty child, just a bit high-spirited at times." Sarah thought the world of Louisa, and in her eyes the artful child could do no wrong. Jess chuckled as they reached the trap. "Oh, you can say that again," she murmured, as Gerald helped her up onto the seat. Sarah persuaded Jess to stay for supper, and Louisa clapped her hands in glee. She offered to help Sarah in the kitchen to bake some sponge cakes, and agreed to help set the table ready for supper. Gerald was out in the small garden, picking a few extra vegetables, and Jess strolled outside with a basket. It was a lovely evening. The sun was still warm as they filled the basket with carrots and broccoli. Gerald was still trying to find a tactful way to explain that he was her father, and yet without proof he was uneasy, and lacked the courage to do so. As they chatted and filled the basket with broccoli, Jess had never looked lovelier. Her pretty face was flushed from the sun, and her hair fell loosely upon her shoulders. Watching her, Gerald thought she was the image of Kathleen, as he remembered her youthful beauty. Suddenly he felt choked with emotion and struggled to compose himself. Jess continued to chat as she bent to her task, ill obvious to his sentimental reflection, much to his relief. Later, after they had all enjoyed an excellent supper and young Albert had gone off to share a pint or two with the lads at the Ring o' Bells Inn, Louisa began to fall asleep in Jess's arms. "Poor little maid is fair worn out," smiled Sarah. Gerald gently took the child in his arms, and Jess gently draped her shawl around her shoulders. "I'll drive you home in the trap," Gerald said softly, so as not to waken the child. Jess smiled her thanks. She kissed Sarah goodbye at the gate, and Gerald placed Louisa upon her lap, after she had climbed aboard the trap. Taking up the reins, he lightly tapped the mare's flank, and they set off at a brisk pace in the direction of Jess's cottage. After Louisa was tucked up in her bed, Jess hurried downstairs and thanked Gerald for fetching them home. "Can I offer you a cup of cider wine? I'm afraid I haven't any glasses," she grinned. Gerald looked around the cosy little room and smiled. "Thank you kindly, Jess," he replied, as she went to fetch the drink. Jess came back with a small jug of wine and 2 cups. "My, this is a cosy little home, Jess," he exclaimed, as he accepted his drink. Jess chuckled. "Oh, well, it isn't grand, but I do try to do my best," she replied, modestly pleased that he approved of her effort. "I think it's lovely." Gerald was impressed. As he glanced around at the pretty calico print curtains, scatter cushions and cosy armchairs, the furniture was obviously second-hand, but well cared for and polished. Gerald finished his drink and took his leave. Jess saw him to the front door. "Take care, Jess. Good night to you," he smiled warmly as he shook hands with her. "Good night, Gerald," she replied, as he climbed up onto the trap, touching his cap to her. Then he was off, the mare trotting at a steady pace. "What a fine gentleman he is," she reflected with pleasure, as she watched him drive off. And yet she sensed he was deeply troubled by something.